When you decide to play a jazz standard, how do you decide what interpretation to use? Fast or slow, bebop, modal, mellow, gentle, fast, exciting? What's the criteria that goes into those decisions? That's what I'd like to explore here in Journey Through the Real Book number 71. I'm Ron Droders from keyboardimprov.com. Welcome. And yes, the 71st tune evokes all those questions because it's Contemplation by McCoy Tyner, the great pianist who made his claim to fame in the early to mid-1960s originally with John Coltrane's group, the classic Coltrane Quartet. And you know, the thing is, here, if you're Bill Evans, you're going to play everything like you play, like Bill, in the style of Bill Evans. If you're McCoy Tyner, you're going to play everything in McCoy Tyner's style. If you're Charlie Parker, you're going to play everything in Charlie Parker's style. Whatever that means to you at that time, right? It's like that filter through, or that lens, how you see the musical world and you interpret music. But sort of the lesser mortals in the jazz and musical universe don't do that so much. Rolling Stones do that too, you know, in rock. But so, for instance, if we know that McCoy Tyner tended to play with fourths and pentatonic scales and a fifth down in the bass, you know, we might listen to music and hear it like this. And think that everything that he wrote has to be played like that because that's how he played, or you know, whatever. But McCoy Tyner didn't think like that. When he was interpreting Duke Ellington, he may have played it like that or similar, right? He has a great Ellington album. I know it's a little earlier than this style was formed, but you get my drift, as they used to say. You get my drift. So what I'd like to explore here is how are we going to play a tune by McCoy Tyner that had a specific sound on his recording, you know, that had, you know, these fourths. You know, we can still be true to that, but also be true to ourselves. And that's what I'm getting at. And this is how you become a great musician, because that's what they did, right? They didn't let previous mindsets about different music hold them back. Preconceptions, that's the word I was looking for. So how can you do this? And I think here the title gives us a clue, Contemplation. Whatever that means for each of us, we can play the tune by contemplating or getting into that state, whether it's by thinking about something, that kind of contemplation, okay, thoughtful, or with a quiet listening, or meditative, or whatever it means to you. So I thought I would just do this to see where it takes me, and also to inspire you to do the same. And it might come, your own version might be very different than mine by starting from a place of contemplation, right? Because that's different for each of us. So let's see. I'm not even going to start with necessarily playing in tempo. I don't know. Let me just see where this takes me. wow, you know, I usually don't hold the final chord out so long in pieces. Not many people do. But it was so interesting, you know, because I was getting this cluster thing going, and I could hear those overtones, and the overtones started shifting and forming, like, more of one chord would be sort of more prominent, and then the overtones would sort of merge with each other, and then it was more of a C minor thing, and then I heard more of the 11th and the 9th, almost like a B flat kind of chordal thing over C. And then that shifted again, and that becomes fascinating. You know, we don't usually listen to the overtones when we play. They're more prominent on acoustic pianos than electronic, but they're there with the electric as well. Keith Jarrett has talked about this, how when one of the reasons his different performances sound different from each other, he might play faster in one, slower in the other, or more chordal as opposed to single line, is because of how the piano is responding that day and in that specific hall, whether he's hearing those overtones or not. If he's hearing the overtones, he tends to play a little more simple and let the notes ring out more. I think an example he's cited as where he didn't hear those overtones so much was at the Blue Note, that recording. So it was more of a club feel, maybe more traditional jazz in some ways. I know that's a generalization. So give this a shot. It's a great tune. It's modal. It's kind of a blues, but not quite a blues, right? It almost sounds like it's the C stays for 8 measures, twice as much as we'd normally hear the one chord on a blues. And then I was thinking, okay, instead of the 4 chord, he goes to a related chord. Instead of F minor 7, he goes to A flat. Right? Kind of related to the 4 chord, the flat 6. Got some of the same notes. But then instead of going back to the 1, he goes right to the 5, which we'd expect eventually in the blues. Goes up a half step, ends on the 5. And it's a circular form. It doesn't resolve to the 1 until the beginning of the next chorus, or the sort of ending coda thing. So to me, it's kind of like a blues, but not really a blues. And that's one thing that those musicians in the 60s were doing. They were pushing the envelopes with these forms, whether it was Miles Davis or, in this case, McCoy Tyner, as a member generally of the Coltrane Quartet. Good luck with this. This is a lot of stuff here in terms of interpretation, and thanks for being here. I'll see you next time with Choral, Keith Jarrett tune, 70-second tune. If you're in the real book, if you're interested in private lessons, I give them during Skype. Love to help you there. If you'd like to check my video course out, I've got almost 400 videos with everything from walking bass to voicings to strategies on how to play ballads, stride piano, bebop, whatever you're interested in. It's there, or I could help you out personally with it. Good luck with your playing, and I'll see you in the next video.